Right, 551 News is your local election headquarters. Between the failed assassination attempt on former President Trump and Joe Biden deciding to drop out of the race July, well, it's shaping up this year's presidential race.
Well, Fox 51's Isaac Ramirez spoke with two congressmen representing East Texans today in Washington and has their reactions. Isaac.
Annabelle Tyler, this is the latest a sitting president has ever dropped out in U.S. presidential elections. This historic decision from President Biden could change the state of the race, an election that in just the last 2 weeks seemed to be lost for Democrats. Never has a single month had this much of an impact on a presidential race, starting with the failed assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, leading to a unifying Republican National Convention where the former president accepted his party's nomination for a third time in a decade. Now, President Joe Biden seemingly forced out of the race by his own party.
What you're seeing here is really the party bosses of the Democratic Party overturning 14 million plus voters who decided they wanted to have their nominee be President Biden.
It is up to the Democrats to decide who their nominee will be. And that is what they've evidently decided, that it might be Kamala Harris.
U.S. Congressman Pete Sessions believes with Biden dropping out, Republicans should stay focused on the issues, since Harris might try distancing herself from her boss.
I doubt she is going to take credit for this demise that's happening to the country. So it is different, and it may be hard to pin the tail on the donkey.
U.S. Congressman Nathaniel Moran believes no matter who's on top of the Democratic ticket, the Republican message to voters doesn't change.
The direction of the Trump campaign really was about policies, and the failed policies of the last 3 years compared to the successful policies of the first Trump administration.
If the GOP stays on track, he believes the Trump-Vance ticket will have all the momentum going into November.
My expectations are that there will be the trifecta come November. We're going to take back the Senate, we're going to keep the House, we're going to take back the White House, and we're going to be able to take care of some well-needed and much-needed policy changes come January.
The assassination attempt of...
Meanwhile, the Secret Service director testified on Capitol Hill Monday, taking full responsibility for the security failures leading to the assassination attempt on the former president. Lawmakers from both parties called for her resignation during the hearing.
She should have come forward today with some forthright answers and transparency. She did not. She needs to resign or be terminated immediately.
I think that is not accepting the responsibility, and I think that they will end up firing her rather immediately.
Isaac Ramirez. A newly released morning consult poll shows 65% of Democrats would like Harris to be the nominee, with California Governor Gavin Newsom in second with only 7%. The Democratic National Convention begins August 19th in Chicago. Back to you guys.